It was 10 o'clock in the evening. It was dull wherever in this town arranged in the fields. Neither there was any commotion. Like a city nor superfluous group. Jack had remained in this town throughout the previous a few days regarding photography. At an old couple's home who run a little shop in the actual town. Jack kept everything in his vehicle. He was at that point plunking down to eat. That is the point at which the spouse of that cafe's proprietor brought up to her better half. Her significant other likewise flagged her to stop. As though he was saying, "Stop. I will see with my own eyes what to do." Grasping his shifty signals, Jack said, "What happened, uncle?" "Got a remark?" The burger joint faltered and said, "Indeed, child." Jack said, "So tell me, for what reason are you thinking? You want more cash?" Elderly person miserable. "No, there's no need to focus on cash, child." Jack said. "Gracious, yes. This downpour additionally needed to begin presently." "Crap. What were you talking about, uncle?" Elderly person said. "Child, nobody has passed that old slope around evening time for quite a long time. Go in the first part of the day." Jack said. "You can definitely relax. Nothing will occur. What's more, these are all prattle things by individuals." Elderly person said. "No, child. It is valid. For that reason I'm advising you to leave in the first part of the day." Jack said. "Uncle, in the event that it isn't required, I wouldn't go by any means. Be that as it may. It is extremely fundamental." "All right, I'll leave now." Saying this, Jack put his hand in the hand of the proprietor of the shop and began expressing gratitude toward. Then, at that point, checking out at the auntie at the burger joint, grinned and sat in the vehicle. The shop old couple continued to take a gander at one another with wide eyes. Furthermore, Jack left from that point amidst weighty downpour. When he left the town, there was just a single approach towards the city. The old slope street. Also, this slope is called Old Slope on the grounds that quite a few years prior, in a colossal tempest, every one of the slopes of the town were obliterated. But this mountain. What's more, from that point forward it came to be known as Old Slope. On one side of which there is a trench. What's more, on the opposite side there is a slope. What's more, it was coming down so vigorously that Jack needed to apply slows down cautiously every step of the way. So the vehicle didn't slide. Seeing the terrible and abandoned street, Jack likewise began thinking briefly that it would have been exceptional assuming he had left in the first part of the actual day. Then, at that point, out of nowhere there was major areas of strength for a. What's more, a major stone fell before him from the highest point of the slope. Then in a matter of moments a huge number began tumbling from a higher place. The circumstance was with the end goal that everything became obscured before Jack. What's more, he failed to keep a grip on his vehicle which headed off to some place far away while hauling. And afterward crashed into something significant. There was an uproarious bang and Jack's head hit the controlling. What's more, when he woke up, he hit a tree in an open field. However, Jack was vexed reasoning that he was going through the slope. Then, at that point, how could he arrive at here? Furthermore, subsequent to thinking a great deal, he arrived at the resolution that express gratitude toward God he is alive. Subsequent to taking a full breath, Jack began the vehicle once more. Furthermore, had moved somewhat back, At the point when a blaze of lightning drew his consideration someplace far away towards an old slope house. On seeing which Jack began telling himself. Jack. Assuming life is alive. Work will proceed. Remaining inside in this stormy night is better. Expressing this to himself, Jack got down from the vehicle. Also, without looking elsewhere, ran towards that slope house. At the point when he arrived at there, he found there is a weak light coming from a room higher up. Rest of the mansion is just about as tranquil as though nobody has lived there for a really long time. Jack was apprehensive at first, however, at that point thumped on the entryway. Is there anybody? I'm an explorer. Need assistance to spend the night. Could it be said that anyone is here? It appears to be that there is nobody here. Saying this, when Jack turned around towards his vehicle, he heard the sound of anklets. He thought there was some disarray. However, when the voice was heard once more, he shouted close to the entryway. Who? Is there anybody inside? Totally, sir, stand by, I will recently come. That young lady's voice coming from inside entranced Jack so that he put his ear to the entryway. Also, began paying attention to the tinkling of her anklets. Then, at that point, he came to realize that light was coming from a break in the entryway. Peeped and saw a lady hand from the flight of stairs before him towards the entryway with a flame in my weighty walk. Her excellence was to such an extent that water was dribbling from Jack's wet eyelids. However, in the wake of seeing her bliss, he didn't flicker. It appeared to Jack as though some angel of God, enclosed by a red outfit on a white body, is coming to open the entryway of his karma. Indeed, even subsequent to opening her entryway, Jack planned to chasten her as though she was on the steps. In any case, really the lower some portion of the lady's body was before his eyes. So she hacked and said, Sir, my face is here. Jack said, Goodness. Sorry, I was lost elsewhere. Lady said, It isn't your issue, men frequently get lost subsequent to coming here. Jack said, I didn't get it. Lady said, Come inside. The entire night is left to make sense of. When Jack came inside, the lady grasped the light. What's more, began shutting both the entryways herself. Before she shut the entryway, the whirlwinds accompanying the breeze soaked her generally. Jack said, Hello, you got wet. Lady said, Indeed, yet not more than you. Jack said, No issues, I will sit close to the fire, this is sufficient. You proceed to rest. I will leave in the first part of the day. Lady said, What to do higher up alone at this point? I will sit with you and talk just two things. Jack said, You live alone here. Are you not apprehensive? Lady said, Is it true or not that you are terrified here? Jack said, No, yet for what reason do you live alone in such a major manner? Lady said, Will you stay with me? Goodness, don't be apprehensive. You cannot remain here for a really long time. Furthermore, Mr. An account of my depression. Will you tune in? Jack said, Why not? So listen, sir, this is the narrative of Lisa. 13-year-old Lisa, who was offered by her dad to a rich man for the sake of marriage. To that man, whose mercilessness had previously killed 5 of his spouses. Going nearer to Jack, she proceeded with the tale of Lisa. How the man carried Lisa to the mansion arranged in the fields to wed her. Lisa had come crying till the manor. Be that as it may. Subsequent to arriving at here. Also, seeing the loftiness of the house. Her brain began evolving. Since before today she had seen her dad spreading his hands before individuals only for each grain. Yet, here in the manor, anything could occur with her one sign. Since the individual about whom she had just heard awful things kept her as a sovereign in the mansion. Numerous months have passed yet he didn't make trouble with her. Neither he at any point contacts her without her assent, and once in a while he contacts her like any dad to his little girl. Jack said, I figured this person in your story would be a wry beast who might make Lisa sob tears of blood. Yet he ended up being a decent person. Furthermore, to contact Lisa like a girl, why did he wed her? Lady said. Lisa was additionally not ready to grasp exactly the same thing. She felt that the elderly person got hitched exclusively to show the world. Well, he had some good times. The desires of the entire world were being satisfied without experiencing the aggravation. Then, at some point, Lisa met Roki while playing in the garden. Roki was the child of the groundskeeper of that mansion. Jack said. Also, Lisa took off with him. Lady said. Hello, listen man, this happened rapidly. Proceeding with her story, she said. Roki was the garden worker's child, however exceptionally sharp-leaning. In the first place, Lisa likewise needed to dazzle him, since he was the landscaper's child. Yet, when she heard his commendation from the proprietor of the house, for example her significant other, then in her view Roki changed. What's more, she communicated her longing to study with Roki. Her better half concurred and gave the obligation to Roki to show Lisa alongside him from today. The two of them began concentrating on together in the mansion. Some of the time in the garden and in some cases the room, where their review instructing transformed into kinship. They knew nothing. Age continued expanding and their companionship began transforming into affection. Whenever they sit together, it appears to be that everything is with them. In the event that they disappear, it's like everything is finished. After each night, they used to sit tight for next morning, so they could meet once more. Both had a great deal of affection for one another in their souls. Be that as it may, didn't allow it to come on their tongue. Be that as it may, their eyes would let each know other everything. Yet, at some point, at the point when the proprietor of the manor left the house, Lisa brought Roki inside the house. Both suffocated in one another's eyes. Also, became inebriated in one another. Like they have been isolated for quite a long time. Also, have met today. Both began dissolving like wax. Meeting one another. Also, really at that time the proprietor of the house got back to the entryway. He shouted, seeing Lisa and Roki wrapped like a couple of snakes. Hearing his shouts, the landscaper and the driver of the vehicle additionally arrived at inside the mansion. Seeing Roki and Lisa like this, the groundskeeper comprehended that today his child's difficulty is going to begin. So he quickly fell at the feet of the proprietor. Furthermore, began asking for his child's life. The proprietor said nothing. He was simply checking out at Lisa with tears in his eyes. In any case, Roki began let his dad know that he did nothing out of sorts. What's more, there is compelling reason need to apologize. Then the proprietor of the house flew off the handle. What's more, took out a gun from his midriff. What's more, before Roki shot his groundskeeper father. Jack inquired. In any case, For what reason did he kill the landscaper? Furthermore, Roki and Lisa. What has been going on with them?